past holds its secrets jealously, especially in the fathomless dark of its ancient oceans. But sometimes a monster of mythic proportions surfaces. In 1867, from the dusty plains of Kansas, once the floor of a vast inland sea, emerged a skeleton so bizarre it shattered our understanding of life's limits. It was given the name Elasmosaurus platurus, Elasmosaurus. This was a creature of impossible design, a true leviathan from the late Cretaceous, some 80 million years ago. As the vital statistics fade onto the screen, the sheer scale of this animal begins to dawn. It stretched nearly 14 meters, longer than a school bus, yet most of its bulk was dedicated to a single,
neck length,
unbelievable feature,
7 meters.
Its neck. When its first fossils reached the brilliant but famously impetuous paleontologist Edward Drinker Cope, he simply could not conceive of such an anatomy. Confident in his genius, he mounted the skull on the short, stiff tail, creating a powerful, short-necked swimmer. It was a monumental error, one his arch-rival, Othniel Charles Marsh, delighted in publicly correcting. The skull, Marsh proved, belonged to the end of the impossibly long serpentine neck. The mistake was humiliating, but it underscores a profound truth. Elasmosaurus was so alien, so unlike anything alive today, that it defied the logic of the known animal kingdom. This is the story of that creature, a biomechanical marvel that ruled the Cretaceous seas, not with brute force, but with the most elegant and lethal weapon evolution ever engineered. To comprehend Elasmosaurus is to first confront the biological impossibility of its neck. Stretching over 7 meters, more than half its total body length, it was a structure that seemingly defied engineering. The secret lay in its vertebrae. It possessed an astonishing 72 cervical vertebrae. The individual bones
72.
that make up the neck. To put that into perspective, a giraffe, for all its towering height, has only 7. So do we. This incredible vertebral column gave Elasmosaurus the longest neck relative to its body size of any animal that has ever lived. For decades, we imagined this neck as a flexible, snake-like appendage, able to strike prey from high above the water. But when we analyze the structure of these vertebrae, a different, more compelling story emerges. The interlocking joints, known as zygapophyses, were designed to restrict sharp vertical movement. The neck was not a serpent's. It was more like a long, semi-rigid crane, capable of sweeping gracefully from side to side, but not of coiling and uncoiling. This was not a design flaw. It was a stroke of evolutionary genius for an ambush predator in the open ocean. The neck allowed the small head to venture far from the animal's massive body. As Elasmosaurus cruised through the murky water, its body could remain a distant, non-threatening shadow, while its head moved into striking range of a fish shoal, undetected. It was a living periscope, a biological fishing rod deployed from a submarine. The skull itself was surprisingly small, a streamlined weapon at the tip of this long-range delivery system. It was armed not with bone-crushing jaws, but with a formidable cage of long, needle-like teeth that interlocked when the mouth closed. This was the dental equivalent of a fish trap, designed for one purpose: to ensnare fast-moving, slippery prey like the fish Encodus or ancient squid. This entire apparatus was powered by a robust, barrel-chested torso. The body of Elasmosaurus was a powerhouse of muscle, propelled by 4 enormous wing-like paddles. We believe it moved through the water using a form of underwater flight, much like modern sea lions or penguins, but with 2 sets of wings. Each flipper, as long as a person is tall, would have generated immense thrust, allowing the animal to cruise its vast territory with breathtaking efficiency. This was a creature built for stealth and surprise, a masterpiece of hydrodynamic engineering that separated the hunter from its weapon, turning the vastness of the open ocean into its personal killing field. The world of Elasmosaurus was an ocean that no longer exists, a lost sea that split a continent in 2. This was the Western Interior Seaway. During the late Cretaceous, rising sea levels flooded the heart of North America, creating a vast, shallow ocean stretching from the modern-day Arctic all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. It was a sun-drenched but treacherous realm, the hunting ground of giants. As an animated map peels back the layers of time, we see the fossil discoveries of Elasmosaurus scattered across what is now the American heartland, from Kansas and Nebraska to the Dakotas. This vast seaway was its territory, a body of water thousands of kilometers long, but in many places only a few hundred meters deep. The water was warm, subtropical, and often murky, with sediment washing down from the young Rocky Mountains rising to the west. This low visibility was not a hindrance. For a stealth hunter like Elasmosaurus, it was the perfect camouflage. But this was no peaceful sanctuary. This was one of the most dangerous marine environments of all time. Elasmosaurus was a formidable predator, but it was far from alone. Here it shared the water with the true apex sovereigns of the sea, the mosasaurs. A leviathan like Tylosaurus, a 15-meter-long marine lizard with a skull built for ramming and crushing, would have been a direct and terrifying threat. Below, the ever-present menace of the Ginsu shark, Cretoxorhina, patrolled the depths. And then there was Xiphactinus, a 6-meter-long torpedo of muscle and teeth. A predatory fish so voracious its fossils are sometimes found with its last enormous meal still visible in its stomach. In this realm of titans, survival demanded specialization, and Elasmosaurus was the ultimate specialist. Life for Elasmosaurus was a perpetual, silent hunt. We can imagine it now, cruising slowly through the sun-dappled columns of the Western Interior Seaway. Its enormous, 4-flippered body remains deep, a distant dark shape melting into the gloom below. But far ahead, its head and long neck slice through the water, a separate entity moving with purpose. Its eyes, positioned for excellent binocular vision, scan the water ahead. It is not searching for large prey. Its anatomy is not designed for titanic struggles. It is looking for the flash of scales, the shimmering pulse of a shoal of fish. There, a school of the fast-moving predator, Encodus, the saber-toothed herring of the Cretaceous. To any other large hunter, they would be a difficult, fleeting target. But Elasmosaurus has a unique advantage. The fish registered the distant, slow-moving body as no immediate threat. They do not see the silent messenger of death approaching, the small, streamlined head. Then it happens, not with a lunge, but with a sweep. In a blur of motion too fast to follow, the neck arcs sideways, a graceful, lethal pendulum. The jaws open and snap shut. There is no crushing bite. Instead, the long, interlocking teeth form an inescapable cage. The prey is trapped, swallowed whole, and the hunter barely breaks its stride. This was its genius, a low-energy, high-efficiency strategy. Using its neck as a crane, it could methodically pluck prey from the water column, clearing out entire shoals of fish or ambushing unsuspecting belemnites, ancient squid-like cephalopods from below. This hunting style points us toward a solitary existence. Unlike orcas or dolphins, Elasmosaurus had no need for complex pack tactics. It was a lone sovereign patrolling a vast territory defined by the constant, pressing need for fuel. But this solitary life was punctuated by one of the most profound and vulnerable moments in any animal's existence: the act of giving birth. For over a century, we assumed these great marine reptiles must have lumbered ashore to lay eggs, like sea turtles. But the fossil record has given us a far more intimate and startling picture. The discovery of a plesiosaur fossil with the skeleton of a large, single embryo preserved inside its body was a revelation. Elasmosaurus and its kin did not lay eggs. They gave birth to live young, directly into the water. This was an enormous evolutionary gamble. A pregnant female was slower, more vulnerable. The birth itself would have attracted every predator for miles. And the newborn, perhaps 2 meters long, was a perfect meal for sharks and smaller mosasaurs. This leads us to believe that the mothers must have provided some form of parental care. The immense biological investment of carrying a single, large offspring to term suggests the mother would not simply abandon it to fate. We can envision her staying with her calf, guiding it, protecting it through its most vulnerable early days. It is a powerful image that transforms this sea serpent from a simple predator into a complex creature, a mother fiercely defending the next generation in one of history's deadliest oceans. For over 15 million years, Elasmosaurus was a master of its marine domain, a testament to the power of specialized evolution. It was a hunter defined not by size or savagery, but by a sublime and lethal elegance. Its impossibly long neck was not an anatomical quirk. It was the key to its dominance, an ingenious solution to the challenges of hunting in the vast, open waters of the Western Interior Seaway. The evidence of its live birth reshaped our understanding of marine reptile biology, painting a picture of a creature with complex, nurturing behaviors. Like all the non-avian dinosaurs and great marine reptiles, its reign was brought to a sudden, cataclysmic end by the asteroid impact 66 million years ago. The seas that it had so perfectly mastered vanished, and its unique lineage came to a close. But its legacy was only just beginning. Wow. From the moment its impossible skeleton was first unearthed, sparking one of paleontology's most famous rivalries, Elasmosaurus has held a powerful grip on our imagination. It is the archetype of the sea serpent, the scientific reality behind the myths of deep-sea monsters. It remains a profound reminder that for every wonder we can imagine, evolution has often produced something far stranger and far more magnificent in the silent depths of our planet's ancient oceans.